Good morning, everybody. Hope you have your coffee ready. I'm armed and ready to go. Today I thought I'd do a Christmas card, a very simple one. I've drawn out a simple card, and I'm going to show you on another piece of paper kind of how I designed it, and then we'll get into actually painting it. So I take a piece of paper, usually cardstock is not a bad idea, and I shaped out, remember we talked about shapes in a video, kind of like this, right? And you go like this, and you come down, you make the next one a little bit bigger, kind of like that. It's up underneath. Underneath doesn't show, if you remember. Then you come down, and you go like this. Oh, that needs to come out a little bit more, like that. Kind of like a skirt. And we'll only go to 4. How's that? I hope you can see that. Now, we want to put a little dot here and then a bigger circle around here like this. And I think scalloping them would be fun. You've had things in your life that have been scalloped, so scallop them instead of just making them plain. Okay. There you go. Give it a little trunk. And then the trunk has to sit on something. So take a line and just kind of go like this. And do something like this. It makes it far more interesting than if you just go straight across. Then we'll make a little bird underneath there. 2 legs. And you want to know it's a bird, so turn his head to the side. Kind of like that. See? And he's doing something. And then we got another bird here. Well, it's a little fat, but like that. And then he's sort of like this. And then he's got tail, wings. Now this is cartoony, so it doesn't have to be accurate. Give him a little beak. He's got a little beak. We'll make him a little fatter. Yeah, with wings like that. Okay, we got a couple of birds. Now, to make it a little more interesting, we got to put in the Star of Bethlehem. So make one star quite large, because you're going to put more stars in here. Now you draw a star by doing 2 triangles that are intersected. This is another way to do it. Just showing you here. See that? And then you can erase the lines in between. Okay, anyway, that's how you make them if you don't know how to make a star. One is upside down, one is upside right. But after a while, you get pretty good at doing stars, so... and it took me a while to learn how to do them like this. And I make them different sizes. Stars are far away, stars are up close, and stars are itty bitty. Just have fun with it. Anyway, that's the general idea of what you want to do is you draw it all out. Now, to save time, I already did one, and what I did was I put the birds underneath, and I ran the stars at an angle because it lends more interest. And then I put a special topper on the tree. And there's our design. And we're going to do this with markers. And I went to my color chart. And I picked out my colors from here ahead. And there we go. So the colors I picked out were Crayola yellow, because I'm using a Crayola marker. They make wonderful markers. They don't get dried out, and they're so cheap. And this is an Oahu orange. That's number F04. That's actually a fluorescent color, which will make it interesting. Here's a little brown one for, I did 21 for the violin. I did 21 for that. Okay. 65. Is that color? Or, oh, excuse me. 50. 59. See right there. Okay. And this one is 46. So I picked a darker green. And then I want to have blue sky. And I went over here and I said, I'll do 76 for this one. Say 76. So, there you've got it. I'm all laid out and ready to go. So I can start anywhere I want. Now these have two ends. One has a fine point and one has a blunt point. But I thought I'd like to have this be kind of textural and make it look like it's painterly. In other words, paint strokes. So I'm going to go like this. And I can come in and finish with a point. And I'll fill in as much of the bulky area as possible. I don't know why I say bulky area, but you know what I mean. Where the most space is. No, you just don't want to learn. Okay. Let's go down to this. There we go. Now I pre-cut this to 5x7 because I can buy envelopes that will fit 5x7 cards. I'm not about to make an envelope. Maybe some of you would like to make envelopes, but not me. I'm just not there. Certain things are like ready-made for me. I want to put my energy into my art, not my other. Okay, I'm going to come down this way with this. You notice I'm turning it up and using the narrower side of the blunt tip to do this work in here. Now, this is an experiment with me. I don't know if this is going to turn out or bomb out, but I always have the comfort of knowing I can delete the video if I'm not happy with it. I've had some problems lately. My ISP, that's your internet service provider, which in this case is a local company. I've had them for a number of years, and they are the only choice here in the woods, so we're lucky to have them. We may not have cell service, but we've got that. There is another company here in town, but they're very expensive, and their baud rate is even worse. And I've met that owner. He's very community oriented, but he needs better equipment or something. I don't know. I don't know that much about how they outfit a place like that, but I'm rambling. Okay. Okay, I'm outlining these stars. Anyway, the baud rate is what they call it. That's how fast you upload, how fast you download is only at 1. You get in the cities, and they've got much better baud rates. But you pay for them in the cities, too. And being that I'm on a budget and all, I'm just lucky to have this. In other words, what I'm saying is the baud rate's better some days than others. You know, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days to upload a movie to YouTube. So you can see the stars are starting to stand out. Coming in very delicately, and I'm hoping just to use this blunt point all the way through, because the texture is kind of broad and bold, and that's kind of what I want. So far, so good. There's my star automatically. And because the point is pretty broad on the Crayola, which is the yellow I'm going to use, I'll probably leave these stars white, because I can't get a fine point with the Crayola. Unless they make them, I don't know. I haven't checked that. See, that's kind of a painterly look. Looks like you went in and painted it with other things. Now I'm going to leave that there. I've got another idea. And I'm going to go up here and finish this. You know the card's folded, so you know where to stop. You might want to make this for a special friend. You know, they'll know you made it strictly by hand. It's so cool. The galleries have been so supportive of my art. Oops, screwed that up, but that's okay. We're better than our mistakes. Can you hear the snow geese out there? They're just in hog heaven. We've been having snow and rain. That makes them feel right at home. Yeah, I got this meadow out in front of my property, and it just goes off into the trees about a quarter of a mile away, and then above the trees you can see the mountains. So I have no one in front of me, and it's so beautiful. And I got homes behind me, and I feel very out in the country, which I am out in the country, really. Okay, let's see, we got a little bit, one more star here to do. I'm delivering all my Christmas cards to the galleries now, and my commissions, and I've been so busy. This is a busy time of year. Okay. There. Alright, so I'm going to just leave this at that for the moment. This little sketchy look. And I'm going to consult my chart. And I want to start with a light green, probably 59. This one. Okay. And I can always get darker, right? Okay. So where's the broad point? Here's the broad point. Go the edge up there like that. Oh, that's pretty dark on there. Well, that's okay. Well, I guess we're not going to be using the other colors, I guess. I'll break this up in sections. There we go. Now, if I wanted to distinguish the layers of the tree, I could leave open an open area with snow. But I think I'm going to meet the challenge of not doing that. I'm going to circle these so I don't go into them. Yeah, okay. There we go. Now, I did this with pencil so I can erase it. Maybe leave a little white there. That's a good idea. And then you have a line. But we are going to come in and do some coloring. I think I mentioned to you in one video about the origins of Christmas. Starts on November 1st, the eve of All Hallows. That's where in Europe they go to church and they honor their dead or their ancestors. Very solemn. And then in Mexico, they have Dia de los Muertos, and it's the same thing, but it's much more festive, and the families gather at the grave sites, and they bring picnics and all their musical instruments, and they dress up, and they go celebrate with their ancestors in the graveyard. Very festive. Europeans are so conservative. And I probably got a lot of that in me because I have to control things in my art, as I have shared with you before. Some people can be so spontaneous and have really loose art, and it's beautiful. But I'm so afraid I'm going to do something wrong, I guess. Oh, anyway, you can see this is developing. So anyway, we have Halloween, and Halloween is or the Eves of All Hallows, or Dia de los Muertos, is the beginning of Christmas season. And the Europeans started it. And Christmas trees, I think, came out of Germany originally. I think it was Germany, not sure. I kind of like the flounciness of this tree, because these little sections of trees, the trees in our forests here, kind of look like this. And so what I experience is what I paint, if you remember me telling you that. Certain trees do this. The spruce. Now, speaking of spruce trees, they crop up in my yard, those little seedlings, and I dig them up, and then in the fall I plant them where I want them to be. And so I'm creating a whole forest for myself on my property. And they're all free trees. And spruces grow pretty darn fast. Okay. Slow down. There we go. See, leaving that little bit of white is kind of neat because it shows you the divisions between the layers. Kind of like that idea. I kind of fell on that by accident. Okay. Shaping up. I'm going to take the brown and put in the there we go. It's so exaggerated, it's funny. I think go in here and do some, this is a little faster moving here. Let's just leave that little bit of white. I really like that idea. And get in here with the point and do a little finer work. I'm going to come back in with black too. I'm just filling in the color right now. Of course, this is snowy. I'm still learning the editing software. It is not easy to work with. There's lots of free apps out there that you can download on your computer if you want to take the time for the learning curve. I'm retired, so what else can I do but create, learn. Boy, am I glad to get that little point. I was kind of going through my old family letters from the 40s and the 50s that my family had collected. And yesterday I spent the day sharing with my family how lucky we are. Because my mother wrote a letter to her mother, my grandmother, about how hard it is to live on a ranch, the day-to-day life on a ranch. And I grew up on that ranch, and we had sheep, pigs, calves, cows, chickens, dogs, cats, a lot of animals to take care of. Work was sparse then, even in the 50s for my father, which that was supposed to be a prospering time. He was a millwright. And they had a car, and she wrote about, I'll mail this letter to you when I can grab the car. And most of us have our own car today. And then, oh yeah, there were kids to raise as well as the animals to feed, and the hay to get in the barn and all of that. It was just incredible. All right, there's the snow, and we're set to go. And now I'm going to finish this up with color. So what am I going to use? I'm going to consult my, I think I'll do 17 Sharpie orange. Is there a Sharpie orange here? Was a Sharpie orange here. Maybe I can do yellow. Okay. And I'm going to kind of do it like this. If you kind of go down like this through it, you know you're going to get your colors. And you always come back and add more if you want. And right here in the center, I want that. Okay, I do know that. And again, because you're going to come back in later with another color. This is the fun part. I'm going to put a little of this in here. Make it dark under there. You add the color in and make it darker. Okay. Here's a blue one. Not a very bright blue one, but that's okay. This is the fun part, decorating the tree. It's fun. I like this part. Okay, I could use a red, couldn't I? Is it purple? Let me see. This is a pink. Yeah, there we go. That's better than red. You see how that just kind of took care of itself because I went through certain areas with it? Okay. Now, I am going to take a pen. Is this blue? This is blue. Well, blue will do. And I'm going to emphasize what I did here. See, even though I lost that, the pen brought it back out again. Okay. Not a problem. Okay. So I'm going to make these little birds stand out now. Give them an eyeball. Give them a beak. We don't know what they are. They're just birds. As soon as you put the eye on, it's funny. They've got expression. I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of this. Give it a little more distinction from the sky. There we go. Now each of these stars, I think it would be really nice to just outline them. Don't have to be that structured with this either. It's funny, when I started with this drawing, I just drew the tree first. And I looked at it and I said, well, what's it going to sit on? And then I said, is there any life to this? Let's put a couple birds in there. We call that verbing. What are they doing? They're hiding under the tree for shelter. So there's something going on. And it leaves the viewer to wonder. I think wondering is a good idea. See how this is really coming to life? Just with, and this is a blue Office Depot water-based pen. I'm not using black, I'm using a blue color. Why not? Anyway, there is an easy card for you to do, and you can send it out and feel very, very proud. I think I need to take the point here and fill in between the feet. Oops, is this the wrong color? It is. Oh well. Oh well. There we go. There. If you want to emphasize that leg more, you can darken it. There. And there is your card for Christmas. And if you want to, I think it would be fun to put the Crayola yellow around here, because this is the Star of Bethlehem. There you have it. And I think I want to do one more thing. I want to take and circle these so they stand out more. I think I got them all. I did. Okay. And you could go in here a little bit and stroke this and make this stand out a little bit more. I think that looks good. Not doing it right on, but kind of gives you a feel of it going up underneath. You could kind of do this if you want, though that might not be necessary. I don't think on a snowy day like this, the light is directed as much. There we go. There's your tree. There we go. I don't know, I'm so tempted to do that. Anyway, there's a simple little card for you to make for relatives. That didn't take long. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me in my studio, and you have a great day.